That's community service.
Okay, Idle Zoning Committee comes to order at 6:31. Call the meeting to order.
The roll call. Mr. Waylon Simmons,
Oh, you're
Mr. Alex Sawicki,
Here.
Mr. Kenneth Samso, and Ms. Sam McDonald.
Daydreaming.
Here. Mr. Albert Medina is absent today.
Okay, the public hearing, conduct a public hearing concerning a preliminary and final plat of Alderete Gutierrez subdivision being 0.49 acres, establishing lots 40 and 41 being a portion of block 40, lot 14, Vital-San Antonio Irrigation Farms subdivision as shown on the plat record on sheet 28B, new plat cabinet, Atascosa County, Texas, and all of lot 25, 26, and 27 of the SG Cross subdivision as shown on the plat record on sheet 54-A1, new plat cabinet in the city of Lytle, Atascosa County, Texas. Opening the 6:32.
All right. Chairman and commission members, so this evening before you, the one item we have for public hearing and action is a replat of 4 separate lots that they're looking to combine to make 2 lots. So if you see on the existing, one of the exhibits that was provided, probably easily best shown on the utility access exhibit that they wanted to provide. So there's 2 existing houses, but there's 4 lots currently between the 2 houses there, and so 2 of the lots are to the rear where they're inaccessible by public right of way. And obviously the existing structures are, currently sitting over the property lines. So what they're looking to do is basically take away those 2 lots that are, non-accessible and just make 2 individual lots out of them. So creating the new lots 40 and lot 41. One of the things that we asked them to provide was that utility and access exhibit, because we've had issues in the past of, when we split with existing structures on the property, we want to make sure that each has their individual utilities, and individual driveways, or they can access individually. So that way we don't have, shared access issues down the road, where we've dealt with on some properties in the past. The only issue at hand, so TRC did review, our engineer did review everything, a letter of their original review, and then the final review after the utility exhibits were provided, where they basically said, they are good to go. They're in compliance, except there is 2 variances that would also be required. Normally, those variances would go just to because they're zoning related just to city council, but city council has been very particular recently about making sure that y'all get a crack at them first. And so in talking with our city attorney, they felt like we could kind of couple it with the plating process. So if we're going to grant the plat, the only way to do so would be also to grant those variances, but we would need y'all to obviously take those into consideration when making any forthcoming vote. The two variances relate to lot width. So on the proposed lot 41, which is the southern lot, the width at the right of way is required to be a minimum of 60 feet. But where with accommodating various things, especially the existing structures, which they hope to remain on the property, they don't quite meet that. They're at 43 feet instead of the 60 feet off of Newton Drive there. So that's really the first issue. Or one of the variances. The second variance relates to the fact that they do want to keep the existing structures, and so by doing so, they would be in violation of our side and rear setbacks in certain situations. The thing to note with that is normally I would never suggest to replat a property where you have that issue, but the thing is those current properties don't meet those setbacks as it is today. So you're not really approving something that is creating a non-conforming situation. It's already a non-conforming situation. So that would be the two variances that would have to be considered as a part of any approval. So I believe Rakowitz, who did the platting for Mr. Alderete, who's been the primary applicant on this, is here. So if you want to hear from them or have any questions once we get to the action item, by all means, we can do that. So.
Okay. Open session.
What time are we closing?
Closing the public at 6:37, and opening session to take action and discuss at 6:37. Considering and possible action to recommend approval or denial to the city council concerning a preliminary and final plat to Alderete Gutierrez subdivision being 0.49 acres, established lot 40 and 41 being a portion of block 40, lot 14, Lytle San Antonio Irrigation Farm subdivision as shown on the plat record on sheet 28B, new plat cabinet, Atascosa County, Texas, and all of lot 25, 26, and 27 of the SG Cross subdivision as shown on the plat record on sheet 54-A1, new plat cabinet in the city of Lytle, Atascosa County, Texas.
The only other thing I'll note, just for, and obviously we'll open up for questions, but shoot, I lost my train of thought here. Let me pull it up here. On the reason normally we would separate the preliminary and final plat, but as two separate items, where they'd come with the preliminary that would go to council, and then final plat would go to council or to y'all and then council. Because this one has existing structures and they want to remain with the existing structures, our engineers felt really no harm to produce a preliminary and final plat at the same time. If we were building new structures, then we wouldn't have approached it this way, but we felt like this was no harm to do it as a one foul swoop. So.
I have a question.
Sure.
If they decide to build, then they'll have to come back. Like if like, let's say that the storm damages the house.
Yeah.
They decide to build a new house, will they have to come back? And give
Yeah,
us
so
variance?
there is certain allowances for non-conforming structures in the event of acts of God and things like that, right? Where they could go back with certain things. The one thing that their letter, which was provided, they had mentioned that any new structures they understand would have to go back for to the new setback rules or whatever the setbacks would be at that given time. So I would suggest if we are going to grant anything, that would be a condition of granting that particular variance, is making sure that any new structure or anything like that would have to meet the setbacks at that time. Yeah. So, and I don't think they have any issue with that.
Is this picture, this is the existing house, and I guess the little one on the corner?
Correct. Yes.
This is Short Street, correct?
Short Street is well, it's technically not there,
I was gonna say.
but yeah. So
It says Short, and I just assumed it was in front.
no, Short Street is actually So Short Street is actually right here,
Okay,
but it's not built. So Newton kind of does this turn through here. So you have one lot that would be here and one lot that would be here.
oh, okay. So this one, this is livable structure?
Yes, yeah. Both of them. There's current people living in the
okay.
structures.
So
Yes.
that one would be livable for the owner or rental, I guess.
Yeah.
And is this where they're planning on putting on the front part, a structure? You said it's 2 lots.
Yeah. So they both have. So there's a house here in this lot, and there's a house here in this lot. So those would remain. So there would be no additional structures at this point. What they're just trying to do is there's currently 4 lots, and they're just trying to tail that down to 2. Is really the biggest thing.
I have a couple more questions.
Sure.
One of the questions is the current driveway. It looks like it would be I guess on lot 40.
Mhm.
Is that their land, and now the 41 is still going to be able to access that driveway, or no? They need to go around the other side.
Yeah. So they're and this was talked about, which is why we wanted them to provide the utility and access exhibit. So right now, I think it's probably being used as a shared driveway, but at that point, it would just be for lot 40. And so any access would have to be provided off of the new portion through the lot off of Newton,
So
right?
they could access Newton from
Correct.
they would have to
Correct.
make a new driveway.
Yes.
The other question I had is on the other side of 41, there's, I guess, 2 structures that are right beside sheds beside
Mhm.
the house on 40.
Mhm.
Is that house that's on 41, is that their sheds? Because it looks like it's right beside the house on 40.
No, I don't believe so. Are you? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Sure.
So this shows you a little bit better in existing. This is one house here, the other house here. He owns currently these 2 lots. She owns these 2 lots.
Oh my
So it's a
gosh.
big cluster. The new lot line is not one single lot line. We have an extra pin and a turn, and so those sheds are still part of lot 41.
And so she does own these. Okay. Oh, that makes more sense, because to see how it was, because I couldn't imagine the 4, and then I saw the driveway.
Yeah.
So that definitely makes more sense now.
Yeah. So there would be everybody would have their own structures that they already have, but just off.
Yes. Yeah. That was my concern, is the driveway. And then there would seem to be a lot of little sheds beside the house.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't want the shed to be somebody else's land.
Yeah.
It's right here, and on this spot right here, there's a shed here, and a shed here, and then the house is right here, and then they have the driveway right now here. So he's saying that the driveway will be on that land, and they'll have to access
And this is,
the street over here.
This is the way it
Which-
the road comes
Whatever,
in over
yeah,
here.
Yeah,
Yes.
as long as it's their own property, because I was it looked
Like
like
this
this
one.
over here looks right beside this
Well,
house.
so what they're wanting
So
to
I
do
was
is
like,
take
well,
the
sheds are
and come in here and jack that out.
it really makes more sense that the old way, it's he was saying, I don't know if you saw,
Coming
that
down
this
here,
guy owns
so then
this
you have
and
a
this
jog
middle
here,
lot,
you know.
and then she owns this and this.
Okay.
And so I don't even know how that happened that way.
Is the city ever planning on creating Short Street?
I mean, we don't have plans currently, so I mean, I don't know.
I mean, is there room enough to, it looks pretty small.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I don't know why you would need it because it would go straight into the cemetery,
cemetery,
the back
yeah.
of the cemetery. So
I don't foresee it ever happening, but I mean, I can't lock a future council down to that, but I mean, yeah, at this point, no. So, but the property for lot 40 or the newly created lot 40 would still have access off of Newton. It would just be less than what's required per our zoning ordinance. So, which we've, this board or council has approved before. We just wanted to make sure that, that was understood that that would be a variance as a part of that. So.
Any more questions? Okay, make a motion that we accept the variances if they require. And if they do build, they have to come back to get an approval by the zoning committee.
Well, they would meet current zoning setbacks. So whatever that is at that time, any new structure would have.
That's already been clarified to them. They have to build with the setbacks.
Correct. Anything new would, yes.
Okay,
I so move.
do I hear a second?
it.
All those in favor?
I
All those opposed? Ayes have it.
Looks like it's kind of correcting a problem that existed long ago. That the owners had no control.
Okay. Need a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Here a second.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. Nobody wants to stick around.